A very good evening. Welcome into you live and direct from the Newsfirst studios right here in Colombo with primetime news on Newsfirst. I'm Mahina Bongzo.
Good evening. I am Shahin Jirampati. Let's start off with a look at tonight's headlines.
Building collapse in Grand Pass leaves 7 dead. President to make statement in the coming hours on the government's future. UNP parliamentary group meets the Prime Minister. Tissa Atanaika breaks his silence to comment on the UNP. More than 250,000 affected by dry weather.
Seven people were killed and several others wounded after a building down Baba Pulle Mawata in Grand Pass collapsed this afternoon. Director of the accident ward at the National Hospital, Dr. Shamindi Samarakun, said 2 of the injured victims are in a critical condition.
The old building complex, which is owned by a private company, was used as a storage facility. Our correspondent said the incident occurred when 2 of its buildings collapsed. Personnel of the Colombo Fire Service Department and residents in the area launched an operation to search for survivors trapped under the rubble. There were 8 women working here. 3 have left, 5 were rescued and the rest were killed. The injured were admitted to the Colombo National Hospital.
It suddenly collapsed. 15 people worked here, including 4 supervisors.
Welcome back. Tissa Atanaika, who served as General Secretary of the United National Party during its times of struggle, can be considered as one who worked greatly to uplift the party. Today, Atanaika broke his silence and commented on the party and its leadership.
When movement started to rise under the leadership of some members in the present-day cabinet, I stepped forward to protect the leader on behalf of the party supporter. If not for me, Ranil Wickremesinghe would not be the Prime Minister today. What I did back then was hoping Ranil Wickremesinghe would become the leader of the country one day and something good will happen to the party supporters. I am disappointed we did not do more towards those aspirations. Whenever power was established, he became an authoritarian. When he loses power, he is not like that. He had numerous opportunities to make a change. He had abandoned all those opportunities. Leaders such as Nanda Mathew and Vijay Palamendis, including their followers, distanced themselves from us. When Dayasiri Jayasekara was defecting, he asked me for a reason not to defect. However, due to other personal reasons, that opportunity was not given to him. That is why we are facing the present-day situation. This is a royal regime. Nobody needs to be angry for saying this. This royal regime and the gang of friends have caused great damage to the party. Whenever he comes into power, outside forces join in with this power. During the 2001 government, Arjuna Mahendran was brought to the country and made the chairman of the Board of Investment. He was a complete failure and he was made the governor of the central bank. Anyone would understand, when you do such a thing, the bank obviously collapses. It was because of friendship. Take a look at Sri Lankan Airlines and the chief executive officer. That is also based on friendship and not talent. During the passing of the late Suranimala Rajapaksa, he was in pain. When Ranil Wickremesinghe entered politics, it was Suranimala Rajapaksa who worked with him and pushed him forward. Suranimala Rajapaksa was hoping he would be appointed at least once because there was no opportunity for him to win. Sadly, without naming him, Wickramasinghe made arbitrary decisions. In the end, we lost Suranimala as well. At times of victory, there are many fathers. At a time of loss, it is bizarre. That is how I see Malik Samara Wickrama. He was chairman of the party in 2004. Following the loss, he hands in his letter of resignation and goes home. When that was happening, there was a rebellion within the party. Then we band together to face the rebellion. When victory is in our sight, he comes back to us. This is one step where Ranil Wickramasinghe went wrong. I protected him more than I did with my life. I've worked with him for 3 decades. I saved him during tough times when he was to be ousted. The country is aware of that. There is no one other than me who worked hard to make him president. This Attanayaka, who did so many things, was ultimately put behind bars. If he can do such a thing, what can I say about the others? Look at Rienzi Algama, who committed self-immolation for him. What happened to his family? During the Janabala struggle against the government of Chandrika, 2 young men were killed in Palagoda, Kalania. What measures were taken on behalf of them? He has forgotten those things. There are many reasons for that. Number 1 is disregarding the people who supported him to come into power. It ranges from the grassroots of the party to the medium and upper ranks of the party. He did not look into them at all. Following the assassination of the late Premadasa, there were issues within the party. Some made sacrifices to appoint Ranil Wickramasinghe the next leader of the party. There was a request from the members to join hands with Sirisena Kore and move ahead, but he did not award any such opportunity. I know that personally. He did not understand the feelings of the people. If you visit Anuradhapura, Minipe, Polonnaruwa, Mahianganaya, Dambulla and Ampara, you must speak to the people. You must speak to their issues. There is no point in speaking about Wi-Fi without addressing those issues. From the party's perspective, there is another issue. At this election, there was no supervision or directive. I state it without any fear. They spent a massive amount of money on a media campaign. I am aware of the state the UNP was in for a period of 9 years. It was tough to pay the electricity bill, salaries, water bills and maintenance. At times it was even difficult to obtain a piece of paper. Sirikota is the same today as well. It has not changed. However, a large sum of money had unexpectedly fallen to them for the propaganda campaign. I am not sure if this is accurate. It is said more than 200 million rupees was spent on television advertising. It is said more than 600 million rupees was given for candidates to engage in their campaigns. There can be no legal means for spending such a massive amount of money. One advantage Wickramasinghe had was he was untainted. He was Mr. Clean. If he maintained that status, he could go home in respect. Sadly, because of the attempt he made to protect his friends who looted the central bank, he was not accepted by the people. That was one reason for the election results. In my experience, he takes time for everything. He paves the way for the issue to be undermined. On the other hand, he appoints a committee. In addition to that, he adopts alternative measures to please those who are involved in this said issue. He knows he can buy time with these processes. Public opinion must be respected. When a mandate is given, we should not be making calculations. We must respect that and leave. Ranil Wickramasinghe must take a decision. If he is not doing so, the party must take a decision. If that change is not made, all of us will head in the direction of the cemetery. It is very clear.
The United National Party Parliamentary Group met with party leader Prime Minister Ranil Wickramasinghe today. A 5-member committee comprising of Ministers Akila Viraj Karyavasam, Thalatha Atukorala and Mangala Samravira has been appointed to discuss future measures.
The meeting was held at Temple Trees this afternoon. Following the meeting, few of the MPs spoke to the media. Talks were held yesterday morning as well as last night. So I believe the required amendments will be made and an atmosphere where we can face UNPs once again will be created.
We mainly discussed on running the government in the future. We will run this government the way it is. The people have to think for a moment as to why so many people are itching to chase away Prime Minister Ranil Wickramasinghe. One of our faithful channels were broadcasting live all day and night with 4 gentlemen in suit and tie along with a monk without having eaten all day. Now starting tomorrow, those at Sirasa will mercilessly attack me. My mouth has no brakes. It is a problem I have. So yes, Sirasa will start attacking me tomorrow and it is alright. You may be doing it knowingly or unknowingly. But through what you are doing, you are strengthening a group who murdered 36 journalists, killed a rugby player and shot at protests.
Faraz, good evening to you. Good evening to our viewers.
Yes, good evening.
So, Deputy Minister Ranjan Ramanayaka is a person who's very vocal about corruption.
Yes, indeed.
In the country.
He has been speaking about the corruption in the country. He was revealing and exposing certain malpractices of UNPers themselves, especially in the Dulapiti area. We remember how the minister came forward and spoke about a situation with regard to a walking path. He was very vocal. And for us, because of being this way in the United National Party, within the party, Deputy Minister Ranjan Ramanayaka was asked to, or he was removed from his Dulapiti electorate organizer post as well. He is now at a situation where he might even lose the Dulapiti electorate as a whole. That is where Ranjan Ramanayaka is at the moment, because he has been a person who has been very vocal about things.
Yeah.
Now, for us, let me...
Yes,
sure.
Make live, ne?
That's what he asked from a cameraman.
Those were the exact words, and he made sure that he wanted to know whether it was live. Well, this is certainly live. So
yes. For us, and also the Deputy Minister seems to have lost count of who was standing here yesterday and presenting this program to say what has happened to the United National Party and the political crisis. There were 6 people here instead of now. The Deputy Minister is speaking about 4 people. There were 6 people here, and I myself was also there in the studio.
Right, yes.
So the Deputy Minister has, or someone has informed him incorrectly, or the Deputy Minister has lost count of what's happening.
I've always maintained that this particular segment of government simply can't add up. They have difficulty in adding up, and numbers never add up. So this minister is also, Deputy Minister is also reflective of that. Now
for us, the UNP and the problem here that we have been discussing yesterday, now we are discussing right now as well, though it seems very complex, it's a very simple question for
Absolutely us. Right, Chaturanga. The UNP crisis is a crisis of leadership. It's a leadership crisis. That's the problem here. Since 1994, the problems happened when, unfortunately, President Premadasa was assassinated. And ever since, we've had, at the UNP, a leadership crisis.
Now, speaking about leadership for us, Ranjan Ramanayaka has been the Deputy Minister, Honorable Deputy Minister, has been a person, as we mentioned earlier, who was speaking very vocally about the corruption in the country. Is there a place for young leaders in the United National Party with whatever is happening there?
Well, it's very clear that there is the future for young people at the United National Party, for the youth, is very bleak indeed. Because we can see since 1994, there is no apparent successor line at the United National Party. There's Mr. Wickremesinghe, Mr. Wickremesinghe, and Mr. Wickremesinghe. And there's plenty of talent down there. But unfortunately, the way things are going, it's about time, and I think the young people at the United National Party who are just starting on their political journey have already come to realize that.
For us now, the people of this country, do not have faith or trust in the politicians because of one reason. They do not seem to be sticking to their words. Now, this incident, what we just heard Ranjan Ramanayaka, Deputy Minister, saying, this could also be a part of a script, a part of a drama.
Well, yes, because we must remember that the Deputy Minister is actually an actor. You know, he's an actor.
He is asking why this particular channel, our network, is trying to muster support to the people who assassinated journalists, killed rugby player Wasim Tajuddin, so on and so forth.
Yeah.
We have to ask the same question from them, or in the contrary, rather than mustering support, we are asking a question from the government as to why they are not taking any action with regard to these people. Even Deputy Minister Ranjan Ramanayaka is part of this very government who has to and will have to take action regarding this.
We have an abiding interest in, for example, the killing of, the unlawful killing of our friend and a brilliant journalist, Lasantha Wickrematunge. We really like to know what's happening there.
Definitely. For us, Ranjan Ramanayaka said what he said today.
Yeah.
But in the past, what has he said? This is what he had said. Let's have a look.
Over 6.2 million people voted for Mahinda Rajapaksa and his family members to be brought before the law and see them imprisoned. And that task was given to us. But rather than doing that, we did other things. And this is the punishment we got. These matters have been investigated and finished. But when the CID is proceeding ahead, a certain bigwig has made 61 calls preventing them from taking any action. A certain cabinet minister had made 31 calls to the Presidential Commission of Inquiry into large-scale fraud and corruption during their investigation on Avantgarde.
No one had the backbone to come out against the murderer, the thug back then. Who took that risk? It was Maithripala Sirisena, the Honourable President. You cannot forget the past and exploit a person and be ungrateful thereafter. This is the bitter truth spoken by Ranjan Ramanayaka. If there were bond thieves in our party, I am a person who spoke about that as well. Honourable Deputy Minister Ranjan Ramanayaka, in his voice cut to the media today, pointed out at us and he said, we venerate and pray that Sirisa will stop doing this. We also have a request, a plea from the Deputy Minister. We venerate and pray that you, the Deputy Ministers, the members of the United National Party who is representing the Parliament, will get their act right. And if someone is, we do not know whether the Deputy Minister was part of this 16-member group that went and met the Prime Minister yesterday, earlier on in the day, but if someone in the United National Party, be it the leadership, be it down the line, if someone is trying to play around with the people's confidence, the mandate that was provided by the people, that is completely unacceptable for us.
They ought to stop acting and they ought to start behaving in a real way.
Now for us, with all that is happening, the Sri Lanka Freedom Party has sent a letter to the President of this country, and the letter is about the position of the Prime Minister, the post of the Prime Minister and the establishment of the government. Yes. Now the letter says for us that the consensus government was established for 2 years and that the tenure of this government, or the MOU, has elapsed.
And the letter also says that key ministries in the government were led by the United National Party under the leadership of the Prime Minister.
Now, though the SLFP members of the government were not in complete agreement with the decisions that were taken, they had to respect the collective responsibility as members of the government.
Indeed.
The letter also says that it is not a secret that major corruption, like the bond scam, has taken place with the Prime Minister being aware of it.
Indeed. And the SLFP says that the party cannot agree on the fact that the Prime Minister is still holding the position after the number of votes they received.
Now for us, the letter says, the SLFP says the party believes that a new government should be established after appointing a Prime Minister who can win the confidence of the people and the majority in Parliament. Now this letter, the SLFP is requesting the President's approval to get this task done through the UPFA. Now for us, yesterday was a busy day for the United National Party members, the members of the Sri Lanka Freedom Party, the President himself, as well as for another group. That group for us was the joint opposition members, or the members who were supporting the Podujana Peramuna. They also convened at the Vijayarama residence of former President Mahinda Rajapaksa and was having a meeting. Now we know that, we know what happened yesterday. We know that the UNP had a meeting and then they went to meet the President and only the cabinet members were welcomed. All of that. Right after the UNP cabinet ministers came out from the President's residence, we saw another group going in, and that was the people who were representing the Podujana Peramuna. All of this boils down to the President and the decision that the President is making for us.
Indeed.
Today, this morning, the members of the Sri Lanka Freedom Party also went and met with the President and held discussions. While they were coming out, they had this to say to the media.
President Maithripala Sirisena called SLFP MPs for a meeting following the conclusion of the cabinet meeting this morning. Everyone came to the stance that they would remain with the President as the Sri Lanka Freedom Party. We will take the required course of action regarding this decision within the next 48 hours. If anyone wishes to challenge us, we are ready to accept it. We remain at the same decision as before. There is no change in that. Within the next 24 to 48 hours, the President will make an announcement to the country. We are acting based on that. None of us will join them. There is nothing of that sort. All 41 of us are working together. No, we won't. We have no other place to go except the Sri Lanka Freedom Party.
The first cabinet meeting following the local government elections took place today. Several ministers spoke to the media on the cabinet discussion.
The cabinet meeting was chaired by the President and also saw the participation of the Prime Minister.
The discussion was based on enforcing a strong and efficient governance that will meet the aspirations of the people and achieve the development goals. Good governance will move ahead. That is all I can say. There will be a change in the next 10 days. It is not clear how it will take place. We are all of the view there needs to be a change. It may happen. Several SLFP MPs may join the United National Party. Several SLFP MPs may go and join with Rajapaksa. Anything can happen. We have a majority. We can form that majority into any structure. There was no such discussion. There were various views made following the election results made public. But as a party, we never discussed that matter. We have no need to do so. The government will continue as it is.
The joint opposition announced their stance today on the current political situation.
We wish to ask, how will a solo government be established? Ranil Wickremesinghe has a mandate of 106 MPs. We ask him to bring all those 106 MPs to one place. It cannot be done. We are having discussions at present. The intelligent people in the UNP and those who love the country are having discussions with us. They ask us to save the party. Ranil Wickremesinghe does not care about that. He won the cup again. Wickremesinghe, who lost for 29 times, lost for the 30th time. Some will join them for money and positions. If there is a single MP who has pride, he will leave the government and be seated with the opposition. If not, the president must work to build a separate Sri Lanka Freedom Party government, withdrawing itself from the UNP government. This is the time to see if Maithripala Sirisena or Ranil Wickremesinghe has the strength. You cannot form a UNP government with only 106 MPs. They either are greedy for positions in the SLFP. We have received word that money is being offered for others to obtain MP and ministerial positions. Such a group will be evident.
Welcome back. The Disaster Management Centre says over 271,900 people are affected by the prevalent drought in the country. It added that the drought has affected 5 districts.
The drought has severely impacted Puttalam, Mana, Anuradhapura, Polonnaruwa and Kurunegala districts. A statement issued by the Disaster Management Centre said the drought, which has been prevalent since January this year, has affected 85,933 families. Several farmers in villages in Panduwasnuwara are in distress owing to the drought. Locals of the Panduwasnuwara, Maya Kadawala, Adukkane and Hene villages rely on agriculture as their livelihood. Due to the scarcity of water, farmers are unable to reap a harvest in this season's crop. Farmers say they haven't received a sufficient amount of rain in the area for nearly 2 years. They say though they cultivated with the expectation of rain, their hopes are beginning to fade. According to our correspondent, close to 100 small wavers existent in the area have completely dried up. He added certain paddylands have not grown a crop for 5 seasons now. The cultivated paddylands now lie in this state. Given the current crisis, farmers request an innovative irrigation system for the area.
We have had a drought for 2 straight years now. All our paddylands have got destroyed as a result. We do not know when we will be able to cultivate here again. Given the experiences we have had, there appears to be a reduction in the amount of rain we receive. We will have to come up with a new irrigation system in the future.
The interim order preventing the Financial Crimes Investigations Division from taking action against former Defence Secretary Gotabaya Rajapaksa under the Public Property Act was extended to the 28th of February by the Court of Appeal today. The order was issued by the bench comprising of the Chairman of the Court of Appeal, Preeti Padman Surasena, and Justice Shiran Gunaratna. The order adds the case will be taken up again on the 27th.
The overseas travel ban imposed on chairman of Avantgarde Maritime Services, Major Nishanka Senadipati, and former chairman of Rakna Arakshaka Lanka, Major General Palita Fernando, was temporarily lifted until the 16th of March. The order was issued by Colombo High Court Judge R. Gurusingha.
The justice permitted the suspects to travel overseas until the 16th and ordered the Controller of Immigration and Immigration be notified of the decision. A case is filed against the duo under several indictments, including providing and accepting a bribe of 35.5 million rupees. President's counsel Gamini Marapana appeared for the defense. Taking the counsel's submissions into consideration, the High Court judge warned the suspects to appear for the case filed before the Colombo Chief Magistrate during the period granted to travel overseas. The case will be taken up again on the 19th of March.
Well, we leave you tonight with a look at today's illustrated news, courtesy of cartoonist Asanka Ladua Hetty. I'm Mahina Bongzo.
And I'm Shahin Jarampati. Good night and take care.